This is the Rich Dad Radio Show. The good news and bad news about money. Here's Robert Kiyosaki.
Hello. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. The good news and bad news about what is going on the southern border of America. Sheriff Lamb, you are the man with the plan in the middle of the action. What is going on at the southern border of the United States?
It's a total disaster. This is such a disaster right now. And we're getting hammered as law enforcement. And Americans have no idea what kind of toll this is going to take on our country. It's already taken a toll, and it's going to take even a greater toll. And, Robert, you asked, and thank you for having me on, first of all. Sorry to just jump right in, but I'm passionate about this.
We're old friends already. I only met you once.
Yeah, and you got, I'm ready to go. I'm like a horse ready to get out the chute, And you asked, where's Kamala Harris on this? Exactly. She's been non-existent until our Border Patrol agents were doing their job and doing it in a good and effective manner. And now all of a sudden she wants to appear and question the manner in which they were doing their job. That's pathetic. We have these Border Patrol guys who did their job and now they're put on administrative leave, but we got government generals who are supposed to know and have the right intel, and they bombed 10 civilians and kill them. And their reaction was like, well, we're sorry that happened. And nothing happened to them. And as Americans, we're getting tired of it. We're getting just fed up.
So Sheriff Mark Lamb, again, I'll just be quite upfront because I'm not politically correct. They had a bunch of people running for governor of Arizona, and I said the wrong women are standing up there. Mark Lamb should be up there because you call as you see it. And what we have today are people without any guts. No cojones. Right. No cojones. So the question is, why would Biden and Kamala open the borders, give our weapons to our enemies, in Kabul and Afghanistan? They gave our top secret weapons to the Russians and the Chinese. They armed the people who hate the Jews the most. Yes. They gave the ISIS, and I'm not against any of these guys, but I just watch what's happening. I'm a U.S. Marine, and I look at that stuff and I go, we just armed our enemy. And your part of the world, which is my part of the world too, because you're about 2 hours from me, you open the borders, and they say they're Hispanics, but they're not Hispanics.
Yeah, and you're right. We armed our enemies in the Middle East. And you know what we're doing here is we are providing the most fruitful time for the cartel ever. The same people who have zero regard for human life and who traffic humans and who traffic dangerous drugs like methamphetamines and even more dangerous fentanyl into our communities. Our government has created the perfect opportunity for them to run their business. These people love Joe Biden. They love him. And he's great for their business. And that alone should make every American dislike our administration because they're aiding and abetting these cartels. It's so sad to watch. And you ask why they're doing it. I believe they are trying to destroy this country. They are creating chaos for law enforcement. They are trying to completely break our medical systems, our education systems. We are not going to be able to handle these people that are coming here. And they were the people that didn't make it in their own country. And now they want to come here and suck off the teat of the American public. And I'm doing the best I can to keep them from coming in here. I'm like you. I'm all about people coming to make a better life for themselves here in this country. And we have a process in place for that, a process that Congress and the Senate have established. But now they want to just undo the rules and say whoever can come here and create lawlessness and destroy this country, which is what they said last year in the election. They said they wanted to reinvent America. And when you want to reinvent or when you want to build back better, which is that stupid statement that Joe Biden has, if you want to build back better, you have to destroy it first before you're going to build it back better. And that's what they're doing.
Right. I want you to know something. I didn't know this until I checked it. Build back better is an international claim. It's international. So the reason I want to talk to you, Sheriff Mark Lamb, why are they doing this? And that's why I'm so excited to have you on the program, is that why are they doing this? They're intentionally destroying America in Kabul and on our southern border of Arizona and Texas. Why are they doing this?
They want to undo what America was. So I just was listening to Tucker last night, Tucker Carlson, and
you're more screwed up than I am, then. No, he's a great guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't been on his show, but I love what he talks about because he's not afraid either. He's got a set of stones on him as well.
No.
And, he was talking about how Joe Biden, he played a clip from Joe Biden talking in 2015 or 2014, saying that within a few years, the Anglos would be the minority in this country. And really what they want to do is they just want to tear away at everything about this country. They want to create divisiveness amongst races. They want to overwhelm all of the systems. They're doing it to us in law enforcement. And I keep telling people everywhere, they are creating chaos to undermine us, to make us look inept, so that they as the government can later swoop in and be the hero and save the day. But they're going to have no house left to save if they continue to burn it. So we've got, it's an uphill battle for us in law enforcement right now. We're doing the best we can to hold it together. And not only that, we're trying to make it so why would the average American citizen want to obey the law if the government's okay with everybody else breaking the law? Eventually, law-abiding citizens are going to stop obeying the law as well.
Correct. Hey, Sheriff, would you mind giving us a little bit of your background?
I was born and raised in Hawaii. My dad was a graduate of Thunderbird Business College, born and raised in Hawaii on the Big Island. Then we moved to the Philippines. And those were key for my life because they instilled upon me a love of America.
Correct.
I saw poverty in the Philippines at an early age. And I saw how great of a country we lived in. And so I went to high school in Chandler. My family moved to Panama when I was in high school. My dad loved international business, so I spent a lot of time in Panama. I served a mission in Argentina. And, I never thought about being a cop. It wasn't until I was a business owner. I'd been a dairyman, but predominantly I'd owned my own businesses, marketing, different things. And then I had my own business at one point. My neighbor talked me into doing a ride-along. I went on a ride-along, and I was hooked. I came home that morning after one ride-along, and I said to my wife, I'm going to be a cop. And then I got into it, and I took to it like a fish to water, and I loved it. I was already older. I had 5 kids, so all I did was work, and try to perfect my craft. And then one thing that I noticed was there was a real lack of leadership in this profession. There was supervisors. There were people that had stripes and bars on their stripes on their sleeves and bars on their collars, but they weren't leaders. And I decided instead of complaining about it, and this was also during the Obama era, and I thought I could see that Hillary was gearing up to run, and I thought it was important to have people that were patriots who love America, who love the Constitution, who love freedom. And I thought, why should I wait for somebody else to do it? Why don't I just run? So I started making changes. I took some pay cuts. I made a lot of changes in our lives that were tough, hard things, sacrifices. But then I ran for office in 2016. Everybody thought I was crazy for doing it. And I beat my opponent 64 to 36%. And I'm grateful to be able to serve the people. And I take it very serious. I take my oath of office very serious. I took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution and the people of this country. And I'll be damned if I'm going to do anything else. And I'm trying to hold other leaders and other elected officials accountable for the same oath that I took.
God bless you, my friend. God bless you. Man, when you stood up there, I'm not kidding. I don't like I'm from Hawaii like you. Where were you raised, by the way?
I was born and raised in Hilo.
That's where I'm from. Oh my God. There's no place more south than Hilo.
It is the best.
It is.
My family were originally potato farmers in Puako. And then they moved to Hilo, and then we did scrap metal. So we used to take all the scrap out of the old sugarcane factories, and that was our family business for a long time.
Yeah. And you know what's the greatest about Hawaii? It really is a melting pot of races.
Robert, I've always said that the strengths of America are we've got a few different strengths, but I think there's 2 key strengths to America. One is the family unity. And if you look at what the wokeness and the radical left are doing, is they're tearing away at the family unity. We don't believe in marriage anymore, or families, or we're pushing the LGBTQ, whatever it is. All of that stuff inherently tears away at the family unity. And that is one of the strengths of America. And they know this, which is why they're tearing away at it. And the second is the rule of law. And what we're seeing right now and what we saw in 2020, it's been happening for a while, the erosion of it. But what we've seen is an all-out onslaught attack on the rule of law and undermining it and demeaning it. And when you do that, your society will fall apart. That is what has made America different from other countries that have constitutions or other countries that are democracies. Although we are a republic, there are other countries that are similar, but they don't have the strength of America because they lack the strength of the rule of law. And if we lose the rule of law in this country, we'll lose America. And that is why it's so important.
So we're going to take a break, but I want you to come up with some real horror stories to keep the audience interested here, because it's not too often when two guys from Hilo can speak. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. They don't speak English in Hilo. They speak Pidgin. They speak Pidgin. Yeah. And Pidgin is a melting pot of different languages. So instead of saying, how are you, go, hey, how you been today, bro?
Yeah. How's it, bro?
Hi, bro. Hi, sir. Hey, But that comes from como está usted? Yes. So, I mean, Pidgin is really a melting pot of languages. But anyway, it's so crazy. When we come back, I'll let you talk about some real stories, what's going on. And I haven't had the question answered. Why is Obama and Hillary and Biden and Kamala doing this to our country? When we come back, we'll be speaking to Sheriff Mark Lamb. Thank you very much. Welcome back. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show, the good news and bad news about money. You listen to the Rich Dad Radio program anytime, anywhere on iTunes, Android, and YouTube. And please leave us a review whenever you listen to it. And all of our programs are archived at richdadradio.com. We archive them because we don't endorse anything. We don't sell anything. We just sell education. We promote education. And if you listen to this program again, you'll be twice as smart. But more important than you listening to this program, have a friend, family member, or communists listen to this program so they'll understand what America is about. Because our guest today is Sheriff Mark Lamb. He's a fellow Hawaiian from Hawaii. But anyway, we're talking about what's going on the border, and Sheriff Mark Lamb, and then my next door neighbor and I, Scott Shermer, are pushing hard for Mark to run for office because he is a natural stand-up. When he spoke at Scott's house, it was silence. It was power. So anyway, with that, Sheriff, I understand why you're on the border, and you're going to tell us a few stories so that we can get more excited about this whole thing. So welcome back to the Rich Dad Show.
Yeah, thank you. And you know what we're seeing right now on the border, you're seeing a lot in Texas, and these policies have been what's brought these caravans up here. A lot of people don't realize those caravans, the Haitians that you are now seeing at the border, they have been in South America and Brazil, Chile, and different places now for years. But because President Trump's policies were working, they were not coming here. And now, because Biden has opened the door, because their policies are weak, these caravans now have come because they know that they can take advantage of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and this weak administration as it relates to border security. That is why you're seeing these people here. It's not like they just left Haiti last week. These people left Haiti years ago, and many of them had asylum in different countries. What we're seeing here in Arizona is while they clog up the borders with unaccompanied minors, with Haitian refugees, with all these things, the cartel is pushing military-aged men from many different countries into communities and counties like mine. I am 50 to 60 miles off the border on the south end of our county, but we have a Native American reservation that runs into Mexico. So what they do is the cartel loves it when all these other people are clogging the border, because now they can push their human trafficking and their product here. I'll tell you why this is really important. The Yuma sector alone has apprehended people from 97 different countries, Robert, so far this year. And they've had I think by now it's over 20 people from high-profile countries. Those would be Iraq, Afghanistan, Bahrain, Qatar, where terrorism is strong and abounds, and where people hate America. So they've apprehended those. Think about how many we didn't get that got through. And I always say, this is about human trafficking and drug trafficking. I'm going to give you some statistics that will blow your mind at what we're dealing with.
And terrorist trafficking. Yeah, they're trafficking terrorists, and they're charging. What they do is
they're raping the women. They're using the children as pawns and oftentimes raping the children, leaving them stranded in the middle of the desert. They leave people for dead in the desert. They extort the men, and then they force them to carry drugs into this country, drugs that are killing our family members across this country. Fentanyl being one of those. Now, just to give you an idea how big fentanyl has gotten over the last few years, 2 years ago, if I'd have talked about fentanyl at an event, nobody would have known what I was talking about. Now everybody does. In 2018, the Pinal County Sheriff's Office, not any of the other agencies, not DPS, not Border Patrol, just the Pinal County Sheriff's Office, we had 0 M30 fentanyl pill seizures. In 2019, we had 700 pills. In 2020, it was actually 677, but close to 700 pills. In 2020, we had over 200,000 M30 fentanyl pills that we seized. Any idea what we've had this year, Robert?
No.
We are currently at over 1.1 million fentanyl pill doses that we have recovered at the Pinal County Sheriff's Office. And I would venture to say that we don't catch even 10% of what is coming into this country. And why this matters to Americans, not just Arizonans or Texans or anybody else on the border, it matters because it's not staying here in Arizona. We get our share, they leave it, but the majority of these products that the cartel are bringing in, which includes humans and drugs, is designed to be passed throughout the country. And they have a federal government who is helping them do that. The federal government themselves is busing these people throughout the country into different communities so that the American public doesn't realize the severity of the problem here on the border crisis. So that's what's happening. The cartel is loving it, and they're taking advantage of the government while they're at it, or the government is complicit with it. One of the two, could be the latter, but it's a disaster.
One quick question, yes or no. Is it intentional on the
I
government?
believe it is.
I believe it is too.
I've watched it now for 8 months, and I gave them the benefit of the doubt initially that it was ignorance or incompetence or stupidity. But I have moved past that. I believe there are globalist people who want to undo America, who want to take the strength of America away, and they want to do it. And they're going to do it systematically. You mentioned it's votes. It's overwhelming the systems and breaking it so that globally they can fix it together. And this is, I believe it's being done intentional. It's sad that an American or somebody that was elected would purposely try to ruin their country.
And just FYI, Build Back Better is an international marketing campaign. You know, I've seen it all over the world. So I'm going, what is going on here? Why are they destroying America? And you know,
they're globalists. These are people that want to control the whole world. It's a battle between good and evil right now. And evil wants to control you. That's what evil does. That's what Satan does. That's the MO of evil, is to control you. And so what we need to do is resist that, because this is what the government wants to do, is control you. They're doing it through your money now. They're doing it through
politics,
forcing communities to take people. They're doing it through masks. They're doing it through vaccines. They're doing it any
social
way
media.
They can. Yeah, social media. They're taking away your voice. They're deciding what is true and what is not. And anytime you get into that, that's exactly what Hitler and his people did. They decided the truth, and then they pushed their truth. And that's what the leftists and the progressives in this country are doing, is they're determining what is truth, and they're making it truth, whether it's true or not, which we know it's not.
Okay. Well, one more quick question is, not quick, but Sarah wants to know that they said you can't use horses now.
Yes.
Why,
I heard
why is that? Why
you
is
know
that?
why? Because it's effective, Robert. That's why. They don't want anything effective. Like anything that works, they're saying, oh, we can't do that anymore. So look at when Texas decided they're going to stop people and send them back. Immediately, Merrick Garland was immediately down there to sue Texas or file a lawsuit against Texas for trying to do their job. Here's another instance. We all saw visually with our own eyes, we saw how effective the horses were for deterring the people and pushing them back the other way. So they saw it too. And immediately, what did they do? They put those people on admin leave, and now they said no more horses. Why? Because it was effective. They don't want it to be effective. They want this to continue to be broken.
Why? That's the question. So you have an organization called Protect America Now. So
I do.
Would you mind telling us about what it does and how we can support it?
We recognize, and thank you for bringing it up, and thank you for your support on it as well. Yeah. We recognize the value, the importance of the role of the sheriff in this country. The sheriff was elected by the people to protect the people, not only from bad people, but from government overreach. The sheriff has constitutional authority to protect his people. We only work for the people. I don't work for the governor. I don't work for the president. I don't work for any of the legislators. I work for only the people of Pinal County, and that is what there's strength in that. And so we gathered sheriffs from across the country together under Protect America Now, and we're standing as sheriffs and as American people. We are standing up for the rule of law. We are standing against bad policies like what we're seeing on the border with the voting policies, all of these other things. And we are standing up for the Constitution and the people's constitutional rights, and we are determined to protect those. And that's what we're doing with Protect America Now. They can check it out at protectamericanow.com. Please go support us, donate. We're going to be doing things like ballot measures. We're working on a ballot measure right now that would make it, we are actually going to try to make it a constitutional amendment that you cannot defund your police. Granted, there are communities that shrink. You would have to allow for some shrinkage, but it would make it illegal in a constitutional amendment that you cannot defund your law enforcement in your community.
Hey, one more question. Where is fentanyl, these drugs being made? Are they being made in Tijuana?
So initially, the precursors for the fentanyl was being made in China. But what we've seen in our intel tells us, especially with COVID, because it affected the shipments of fentanyl into Mexico as well, we're seeing now that Mexico's producing a large majority of their own fentanyl, and then they're putting it in pills. And the reason why, Robert, is because the average American, there's a stigma that comes with putting a needle in your arm or between your toes. We look at that as like, oh, I'm not a drug addict. But one thing we do as Americans is we take pills, and the cartel knows this. And so that's why they're really pushing these little M30 fentanyl pills in, and they're very dangerous. One dose can kill you. They're being made in makeshift labs down in Mexico, and then they're being trafficked up here. And you should know that the methamphetamines, the marijuana, all of these drugs also have fentanyl in them now as well.
Yeah. And speaking about, taking the needle, what do you think of that? I mean, you want to take the vaccine, take it. But why are they mandating it?
It's control. It goes back to it, Robert. It's about control. They want to control you. And I don't know. Look, before I really didn't care, and I still don't care. If you want to take the vaccine, take it. If you don't, there's a place for everything in this world. However, I do not. Now I'm more dubious than ever because of how hard the government is pushing it. Anything that the government pushes that hard, we should all be a little bit dubious about what their motives are and why they're trying to do it. It is definitely not the government's place or right to mandate Americans to do something like this. And that's the issue that I have with all of this, is that you shouldn't. And it's funny because 4-6 months ago, the Joe Biden, Pelosi, all these people were saying, oh, we'll never do that. And if you said that they were going to mandate vaccines, you were a conspiracy theorist. Now those same people that called us conspiracy theorists are the same ones trying to shame you into taking the vaccine. We live in an upside down world. Excuse my language, but it's effed up right now. And we have got to fix this.
Thank you very much, Sheriff Mark Lamb. We need a leader like you to stand up.
Thank you so much. And if I can give one more quick plug,
sure.
I wanted to give a voice back to law enforcement. So we started American Sheriff Network. You can see it at americansheriff.com. It's to replace things like live PD and cops that they took away from us. They took our voice away as law enforcement officials. So we're telling the real sheriffs, real stories. We're putting you back in the front seat of the car. And it's a way to support the men and women who put on this badge every day. So please, americansheriff.com.
Amen. You have our support here at Rich Dad. So, Sheriff Mark Lamb, thank you. And not bad for a kid from Hilo.
Thank you, Robert.
Bye, man. Take care. Bye.
Mahalo.
So we come back. We'll have a final wrap up on this program. I really appreciate it, Sheriff. Thank you. Bye. Hello. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. The good news and bad news about what's going on the border of America, what's going on in Kabul, what's going on all over the world. And my question again is, why is Biden, Kamala, Obama, Soros, why are they supporting this? They're destroying America. So that's why I really want to thank Sheriff Mark Lamb. And it's really an honor to have him on the program. I hope this program makes it through YouTube and all the other filters we got to go through. But anyway, he is an impressive leader. So that's why I will support him financially. Comments there, Sarah?
All I have to say is wow. To have his perspective of what's really happening. We get fed, most everybody gets fed what's happening through the media.
Correct.
So it's nice to have his perspective because, like he said, he's 60 miles from the border. Pinal County is not that far, and it's an hour from us here at this office.
Yeah.
So to have a patriot like him and have someone's, leader like him standing at our border and protecting us makes me feel better. And the fact that he has a group of sheriffs across the country who believe in what he believes and really in protecting America, protectamericanow.com.
It's called protectamericanow.com.
Correct.
Let's support that, okay?
Yeah. So, great guy. What's shocking to me is the increase in fentanyl that became a topic in the second half, and his numbers that he gave over just the last 2.5 years, from 0 incidences to over 1 million pills coming across our border in just a short amount of time, tells you something's wrong at that border. Massive holes.
And Build Back Better is not a U.S. campaign; it's a global campaign.
Yeah, and his point when you brought that up, Build Back Better, he said, first, to build it back, you have to tear it down. And that's what this administration has done in the last 8 months, is they're tearing away the fabric that makes us so great so they can build back better in their globalist movement.
And just FYI, the Rich Dad Company really does our best not to take sides. You want to do the vaccine, you do the vaccine. You don't want to do the vaccine. You want to wear a mask, you wear a mask. I just don't mess with my freedom. Right. That's all I ask. Don't mess with my freedom. Thank you for listening to the Rich Dad Radio Show.